Hey guys, welcome back to a new weekly vlog. Welcome to the first vlog of 2024. Today is December 1st, Monday, December 1st. The fact that the new year starts on a Monday is amazing for those of us who love symmetry and planning, and it just works out in every way. So, very happy about that. Today's a little bit of a weird day because I always feel super like creative and productive and like energized on the first day of the year. I love resolutions. I love goals, planning, journaling, all the things. So this is like the perfect day for me. But it is a little bit different because we're not like in our usual routine since we're off of work today, especially because it's a Monday. So that's kind of throwing it off a little bit. But I have started the morning. I got some reels up. I did some work for my boss for my VA job. I worked through my like planners and just made sure that I was like refreshed on everything. And I know what my like goals and tasks are for the week. So I feel like I'm pretty well set. I do have a list of stuff that I want to do today. The one thing that's kind of throwing things off is that Nick is sick. He's had a low-grade fever the last couple of days, so we're praying that it's not COVID. I was sick over the last couple of weeks. If you've seen my last couple of vlogs, you know that. So I'm hoping he just caught what I had, and it's not COVID. He feels okay. He just feels a little bit tired and run down. And then at night he seems to have a low-grade fever. So, and a little bit of a cough, but like nothing terrible. So I'm really hoping it's just a cold. My brother was feeling the same way, and he took a test and he was negative. So, but if you saw our Christmas vlog, you know that my mom tested positive. So it seems like it's hit or miss. So, we were originally going to go to the movies as our tradition to go to the movies on New Year's Day, but being that he's sick, and especially since he hasn't tested yet, he's going to, but since he hasn't tested yet, and we don't know for sure we don't want him to be around people, so he's downstairs watching a movie. I'm going to make this bed, get these pups up, and clean up my planners and stuff that I have there, and then I'm going to go run and grab us some lunch. I think we're just going to have a day in which we don't do often. Nick is not the kind of person who likes to just sit and like watch TV or like relax really. He likes to be on the go. So staying home like all day is not something that we do very often. Like we do it during the week because we're working, but on the weekends we're usually pretty like go. So being that he's downstairs watching TV and not like trying to leave the house, I know he doesn't feel good. So while he does that, I'm just gonna kind of make my way through my to-do list, start the year off strong. I got the Hogwarts Legacy game for Switch yesterday. It came in the mail, so I'm super excited to play that. I will probably do that as like my reward tonight for doing my to-do list and stuff. So yeah, welcome to a new weekly vlog. I do have my TBR for the week, but I will talk about that later on. I'm going to be doing a whole like TBR video, so I may not talk fully in depth about it. I'll just briefly mention the books that I'm currently reading. But yeah, welcome to a new weekly vlog. Welcome to a new year. If you haven't already, please subscribe down below to follow this channel over the new year. I post weekly vlogs, so lifestyle content, bookish content, a lot of reading vlogs and things like that, and also some travel content when we can get to Disney and stuff like that. Also like health updates and stuff for my husband who has chronic kidney disease. So yeah, welcome. Also, I didn't say, if you are new around here, my name is Jessica. I live with my husband Nick and our 3 dogs, and we live in Las Vegas, Nevada. Also, some content that will be coming in the year sometime is our hopefully we will be moving to Orlando, Florida sometime in 2024. So that is content that you'll receive as well. So if any of that sounds interesting, please subscribe down. Give this video a like and leave me a comment down below. Tell me what some of your New Year's resolutions are. Do you set New Year's resolutions? Let me know what you think about them down below. One of my big goals for this year for the channel is to get more like engagement and to really create like my own little corner of the internet with our own little community. So I'd love to hear from you down below. I will check back in with you guys in a little bit. Hey guys, so this is terrible lighting, but this is the only place I can do my update for today. It is January 1st, like I said earlier. It's been a really good day. Nick is sick, so we ended up staying home. I went and grabbed us lunch. He's been basically sleeping all day. But I got to do some cleaning around the house, resetting the house, and then I got to sit and play the new Hogwarts Legacy game for like 2 hours, and it was amazing. We like hardly ever, I think I said this earlier, hardly ever stay home on the weekends, so it was really nice to just have a day to relax, even though I do feel bad for Nick who's sick. Which is why I'm in this terrible lighting. I decided to jump in the car and run to the store to grab a couple of COVID tests, just to be sure that he doesn't have COVID, praying that that is not the case. So yeah, I'm about to run to the store, take that home to him so he can take that. I probably won't do any more updates tonight because I'm going to get some work done and then just hang out with him. And like I said, hopefully he doesn't have COVID. So I will check back with you guys tomorrow for Tuesday, January 2nd. Hey guys, welcome back. It is Tuesday, January 2nd now. As you saw earlier, I think I showed I made some coffee and stuff. I got up early. I worked from 6 to 2 today, so I'm off work now. It is like 2:20. I just got a book package in the mail from Macmillan. Yeah, Macmillan. So I figured I would show you guys what I got. I'm not sure what it is. I don't think I've requested anything from them. So we'll see what it is. We'll find out together. And then I've been doing some work, filming some videos, doing some editing, and just kind of knocking out my to-do list. So I'm going to keep doing that until dinner time. But yeah, let's see what this is. Oh, okay. I'm excited about this. This is Shakespeare, The Man Who Pays the Rent. I believe this is Judi Dench. Love Judi Dench. I'm a huge musical theater fan and just theater fan in general. Huge fan of hers as an actress. I saw that this was, I think when I got my, when I did my St. Martin's Press, reviewers, they send you a list of all the arcs for the year and all the books coming out in the year, and you pick which ones you're interested in. I think this was one of the ones that I picked. So, I'm very excited for this. Yeah, St. Martin's Press. Yeah. So I'm super excited for this. I'm super excited to read this. I've been looking forward to this one. I was hoping they were going to send it to me. This goes on sale in April, so I will probably read this in March sometime. So add this to my TBR cart. Very excited for it. And yeah, that is basically the update for now. I may do a reading update at some point, but I do want to keep tackling this this to-do list for now. So I will check back in with you guys later tonight. Hey, so it is Thursday now. It is about 4 p.m. I'm about to be done with work. Nick is finally starting to feel a little bit better. You can see the shadow from the blinds on my face. Nick is starting to feel a little bit better. He went to work today, so that's good. I'm not sure what we're gonna do for dinner tonight. I have been working on getting videos edited, and working on my book planner for the year. I showed that in a planner flip through video that's gonna be coming out. I still want to find a Google Sheets spreadsheet version of a book tracker. I need to look into that. Work's been super busy last couple days, just getting back into the rhythm of things after the holidays. I don't know if there's anything much exciting going on this weekend. We'll probably go to church, maybe go to a movie. Depends how Nick is feeling. But yeah, there isn't really much else to update on. I'm still reading Kingdom of Ash and Iron Flame. I have a separate reading vlog for Iron Flame coming out, so I'm not gonna talk about that in this vlog. But yeah, that's basically it. I updated our budget, our financial stuff today, and yeah, it's basically just crossing things off the to-do list. So I will check back in when there's something a little more exciting going on. Hey guys, welcome back. It is Friday, I don't even know what date it is, the 5th, I think, at 9:40 p.m. It has been a day. It has been a crazy day. And of course, the dogs need to go out, so one sec. Okay, so it has been a day. So I think I've talked about earlier in the vlog that Nick has been sick since Saturday, on and off. And we actually, while I talk, I haven't eaten anything all day. I'll get to that. So I am making myself some ramen. I've been craving this all day. And I have some Nashville hot chicken chicken tenders that I'm about to heat up. I know it's a weird combination and definitely not good at 9:30 at night, but I am starving. So that is what I'm doing. And I will talk to you guys while I make this. So, if you hear growling and stuff in the back, it's the dog's playing. I think I said earlier in the vlog that Nick has been sick since Saturday. He's had fevers on and off every night. The chills, a slight cough, like a dry cough. My coughs always get like into my chest and very like wet and gross. His was very dry, and he talked about being a little bit nauseous, and I knew something was wrong because on Monday, New Year's Day, we stayed home and he slept all day. I showed you guys that. Not like Nick at all. He does not like nap during the day. He doesn't like, usually he's on the go, especially on the weekends, on days off. He never like stays home and just sleeps. But that's what he did on Monday. He called out Tuesday and Wednesday as well. Didn't sleep as much, but hung out on the couch, watched TV. Again, not like Nick at all. During the week, he'll stay home and relax, whatever. On the weekend, he did not like to be home. So I knew something was wrong. Even my mom was like, okay, something must be wrong with him because he does not like sleep. He doesn't just relax like that unless he's sick. So we thought he just caught what I had. Last week, he had taken a COVID test that was negative. I made him take another COVID test last night just to be sure because the symptoms weren't going away. His primary care doctor we called, and she put him on, what's it called? Augmentin, I think is like the actual name of the medication. It's a antibiotic. He's been on that for 3 days. Didn't seem like the symptoms were getting any better. My doctor last week put me on a Z-Pack, and after like the first day of having taken it, I was already feeling better. He was not feeling better. And so we put in a call to his kidney doctor because I wanted to make sure like it wasn't his kidney. He's still like urinating, he's not swelling, which are the signs of like kidney failure. He didn't have that. So we didn't think it was that, but we put in a call to his doctor. Anyways, just to be sure, of course the doctor takes friggin' forever to call back. Didn't hear back from them. So this morning, Nick gets up to go to work at like 5 a.m. and all of a sudden he's waking me up at like 5 something, pretty soon after, like 5:20, saying that when he woke up, the sheets were like coated in sweat and he was really sweaty. And I said like, oh, you know, it was probably your fever breaking finally. And he said, yeah, but I've been waking up like that for the last several days. And he had said that on like Saturday, but again, I thought it was just like, he has a fever at night. He's had a fever every night and it's breaking in the morning. So that's why he's sweaty. That's what happened to me when I was sick. I only had a fever one night. And again, if the fever broke and I was super sweaty, which is what always happens to me. So I was kind of like, I don't think it's that big a deal. But what really scared me and made me, I'm going to make this while I talk, like I said. What finally made me say, like, okay, you need to do something is that he has been short of breath and having, like, been very easily winded, like going up the stairs and like after he showers, he's tired and he has to like sit and catch his breath after he gets out of the shower before he can like put on his lotion and actually fully dry off and get dressed and everything, which again isn't like him. So him being winded is what really worried me. I was winded. I was feeling winded when I was sick, but I have asthma, and so that's kind of like par for the course for me, and I can just use my inhaler. He doesn't have that, so finally this morning I was like, he woke me up, and actually he was the one who said maybe I do need to go to like urgent care or the ER or something. And for him to say that, he hates hospitals, he hates, like, he'll go to his doctor, obviously. He'll go to his doctor when he needs to, obviously, but like going to urgent care, going to the ER, he hates that, like being in the hospital, period. So for him to say it, I knew it was a big deal. So of course we're trying to decide if we can go to the ER, we can go to urgent care, what are we going to do like half an hour before I need to clock in. And we're trying to figure out what I'm going to do to avoid getting written up, to avoid missing out on pay. His boss was like, yeah, go, don't worry about it. My job, unfortunately, is not quite as flexible or understanding. And there was a training today too that I needed to do. So finally, my parents told us about this like freestanding ER that they've gone to in town and that they really liked it, and it was pretty quick. So finally we decided to go there, and I just took my laptop with me and worked from there. So we got there at like 9 probably. They took his vital. They took him right in. Like there was nobody there. So we were really lucky with that. Took his vitals, and immediately they said, yeah, your oxygen level is low. And it dropped just from walking from like the front door of the building to the room, which was not very far at all. That alone made him winded and knocked his oxygen levels down. So the doctor came, talked to him about his symptoms, whatever, listened to his, lungs, listened to his lungs and everything. And the doctor told him that they were going to do a chest x-ray, a heart ultrasound, or whatever it is that they do, and labs. Your white blood cell count is fine, but you have pneumonia in both lungs, and your kidney level is up a point from where it was 2 weeks ago when you had labs done, which is not great for a kidney transplant patient. The higher the levels, the worse your kidney's functioning, basically. So the doctor told him, because you're a kidney transplant patient, because your levels are higher, you have pneumonia in both lungs, you still have to go to the hospital. So that they can treat the pneumonia and hopefully the kidney levels will come down. So he takes some convincing, but I convinced him to go to the hospital. Finally, he agrees to go. They say, okay, we'll set it up, whatever. In the meantime, we'll get you started on antibiotics so that you're not waiting however long to get to the hospital, and then you have to wait another however long for the doctor, and hospitals take forever and blah blah. We'll start you on the antibiotic now. That way you're like ahead of the game. Great. Well, we sat there for 7 hours, my entire work shift, waiting for the ambulance, and to the point where I was able to leave, come home, feed the dogs, get him like some clothes and snacks and his phone charger, stuff like that, and go back, and the ambulance still was not there yet. So finally we got there around 9, and the ambulance did not come to pick him up until 5 something. So literally an entire work day. Followed the ambulance, got into the hospital. Looked like it's a hospital we're familiar with, and it's not too far from our house. It's like 15 minutes from our house. Sat at the hospital from 6 to 9, so for a few hours. And of course they're saying we don't know when the doctor is going to come, that is on call, is going to come see you. It could be not till tomorrow morning because it's nighttime, and apparently hospitals don't operate at night. Also, to this ramen, I'm adding 2 eggs because I'm starving. We left at 8 o'clock in the morning, like I said, and neither of us ate anything all day. I got through the day on 2 cups of coffee and 3 Reese's peanut butter cups. So I am starving. So I'm putting 2 eggs in here to give me some protein. So, what was I saying? So apparently at night hospitals are minimally staffed. So they're saying we don't know when the doctor's going to come. They don't tell us, we page them basically, and they come and then whenever they come. So Nick's having fit because he already doesn't want to stay tonight, and he doesn't want to stay again tomorrow. And I'm telling him that, his life is more important than how long he's in the hospital. Trying to, be understanding, I'm sure he's worried and scared, and, he gets anxious at the hospital and everything, so I'm trying to be understanding. But at the same time, if he needs to be there, he needs to be there. And so, sit there, and then finally, around, 7:38, the doctor actually comes. We got lucky. They came tonight, not in the morning. And she listened to his lungs, said his lungs sound good, explained that he already had 1, bag of antibiotics earlier at the first ER, so you can only do it once a day, so he's not going to have more antibiotics tonight, but they'll do it tomorrow. And basically the determining factor for him to be able to go home is when he can walk around without his oxygen lowering without getting winded, which totally valid. Like, you need to be able to breathe, obviously. He's not fully happy about that, but and then they also are hoping that once the pneumonia is taken care of with the antibiotics, or not completely taken care of, but at least starting to be taken care of, and like some of the fluid is gone from his lungs, then hopefully the kidney levels will like correct themselves and go back down. So they're waiting for that as well. So we don't know if he's going to be in the hospital just tomorrow or Sunday as well. I stayed as long as I could. Visiting hours are up at 9. And then they start back at 9 tomorrow. But he hasn't eaten anything all day either. He is not a, like, hospital food person and would rather not eat. He would rather not eat than eat the hospital food, you know. So I'm telling him, you know, you need to eat, because if you pass out or your blood sugar drops, then they're really going to want to keep you. I brought him some snacks. I brought him like some Ritz crackers and stuff. And of course, the hospital, like, cafeteria closes at 6:30. So by the time we got there, it was already closed. So I stayed until 9. I stayed as long as I could. And, basically, I'll go back tomorrow. I'm going to take him a donut in the morning, maybe get some McDonald's breakfast or something, and then see how it plays out. So yeah, totally not how I expected the day to go. We totally thought he just had a cold, had caught what I had, or the flu. Our worst had COVID. We did not think, pneumonia never even crossed my mind. Definitely didn't think he was going to end up in the hospital when we went to the ER today. I thought they were just going to give him some medication, maybe give some fluids, and tell him, like, okay, go see your doctor or whatever. So definitely not the way we expected things to go, but I'm glad that he's getting taken care of. You know, that he went to the hospital. He's doing what he needs to do. I will try to sleep tonight. We have not slept apart in like 12 years since his kidney transplant. So luckily I have the dogs though, so should be okay. I'm going to eat. I might try to maybe I'll try to watch Itaewon Class or something to like put my mind off of it. Then I'm going to go upstairs and relax. I need to try to edit some vlogs. So maybe I'll go upstairs and edit some vlogs while I think I'm going to put on like Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings or something that's like a comfort watch. And try to sleep as much as I can. And yeah, that is basically it for now. I will keep you guys updated tomorrow on what's happening. And we'll see how the weekend goes. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Good morning, guys. It is now Saturday. It is 6:30 a.m. I'm up because the dogs woke me up for the 3rd time. I did not sleep very well, as you can probably tell. I'm trying to make myself some coffee, but doing it one-handed is not working. Let me see if I can place you guys somewhere. That's as good as it's gonna get. What's his name? Yeah, I didn't sleep very well. The dogs took forever to lay down. I tried to go to sleep at like 11:15, 11:30. It might have even been earlier than that. I don't even know anymore. Might have been like 11, maybe. Sometime within the 11 o'clock hour. I tried to go to sleep. Fell asleep. And then Dobby woke me up at like midnight. And of course I placed you guys on the sugar, which I now need. Okay, let me do this real quick. Okay. So, fell asleep at 11. Or sometime around there. Dobby woke me up again at midnight. Well, I was barely sleeping that hour. Or however long. Between the time I like actively tried to go to sleep and midnight. Because Dobby kept getting up and down. He would lay down, sleep for a few minutes, and get up and move again. Lay down and go sleep for a few minutes and get up again. And usually he sleeps by Nick. So I figured he was going to be the one having the most trouble. Which I know he was because he was laying by me exactly where he usually lays by Nick. So tried just like cuddling him and, you know, telling him to lay down and, you know, trying to soothe him, whatever. He would not lay down. Usually when he starts getting antsy and like licking my face, it means that he wants to come downstairs and go out about it. But at midnight, I picked him up, or not picked him up, but I got up, came downstairs. I think Lily. I think it was Lily. I don't know if it was Lily or Boston who came down too. And I'm trying not to think about the fact that I'm home alone. Open up, the blinds in the sliding glass door at midnight. In the dark, I can barely see. Like, we have a very small light out in the backyard. I watch a lot of true crime, so I'm very paranoid. Which, did I talk about that last night? It was a story. I don't think I talked about it last night. So yeah, I left the light on downstairs, and kept the TV on, which I don't usually do, but I knew that I would, usually I like to sleep in, like, pitch black darkness, but I knew that by myself I wasn't going to be able to do that. So, left the light on downstairs, kept the TV on, brought him down, let him out at midnight. It was, like, midnight exactly. Was back upstairs before, like, 12:10, so it only took, like, 7 minutes or something to let him out, whatever. Go back upstairs, finally get him to lay down. He lays down in Nick's spot. The other dogs lay down. I finally fall back asleep and get woken up again at 3 a.m. by Lily, who wants to go out. So I have to come all the way back downstairs, let her out. Dobby goes out again. I have to let them out separate, because if I let them out together, Dobby chases Lily and tries to bite her, and she just runs around out there. And let them out, go back upstairs, made the mistake of looking at my phone, just to make sure Nick hadn't texted me and I had, like, slept through the, the notification or whatever. Had not, but of course, like, take a peek at your phone, and I take a peek at my phone, and next thing you know, I'm scrolling TikTok at 3 o'clock in the morning. So I ended up scrolling TikTok for, like, an hour and a half, from 3-something to, like, 4:30, a little past 4:30. Finally, at 4:30, I was like, okay, I have to fucking get off this phone and try to go back to sleep, because I'm trying to get up to be at the hospital by 9. And I want to stop and get Nick a donut and get myself McDonald's and stuff, so I have to leave here probably by, like, 8. So finally, I, like, managed to get myself off the phone, try to go back to sleep. And at 4:45 or something, was finally able to sort of drift off to sleep, but it was more like, it definitely wasn't deep sleep. It was more like, when you're, like, asleep, but you're still kind of aware of what's going on, and you're just, like, thinking. That's how it was. Because I kept thinking, okay, if I don't, like, fully fall asleep here soon, I'm just going to get up, and I'll just watch TV or whatever, and I'll just be up for the day, and I'll just be tired as fuck all day. But I must have actually fallen asleep after a while, because when Dobby woke me up, I was out. So finally actually fell asleep. Who knows what time? 4 something, maybe 5 something. And now it is 6:30, and Dobby woke me up again to go out. And now I'm just up for the day. I was already texting Nick to see how he was, see if he's awake. He is. Made coffee, because I'm definitely gonna need it. And I'll definitely be getting another coffee at McDonald's. I just cleaned up my ramen mess from last night, because I definitely did not do that last night. I did not give a shit. But Nick is very, like, clean and tidy, and I know he, it'll make him feel better to come home to, like, the house picked up. So I'm trying to do that. So yeah, just made coffee. I guess I'm gonna try to go get in the shower. Not try. I guess I'm going to go get in the shower, get that over with, and then I'll just hang out a little bit. Maybe I'll do my Bible study or something, or maybe try to edit a couple videos. I didn't edit videos last night. I just did not feel like doing it. I did some work in the hospital yesterday, so I just did not feel like doing it at, like, 10:30 at night. So maybe I'll try to do it today in the hospital. Who knows how long we'll be there. So I should be able to get it. Today is basically just going to be a day in the hospital. I don't know how long we're going to be there. I don't know at what time the doctor will come, or the doctor will order the antibiotics to be given to him. I don't know. And then I don't know if tomorrow evening they'll test him or whatever to see if he can walk without getting winded, all that, like they said they wanted. I'm hoping that they are going to let him go today, because I already know that if they tell him they want him to stay the night tonight again, he's not going to be happy about it, and he's going to fight it. So hopefully at some point today they do let him out, but I think it's going to be just a whole day at the hospital. I'll probably end up coming home at some point during the day to let the dogs out and everything, and then go back, and we'll see how the day plays out. Usually on Saturdays we go to church, we go to dinner with our church group. I very highly doubt that he's going to get out of the hospital early enough for that to happen. And I'm sure they're going to tell him that he should go home and rest even when he does get out. But again, Nick is not one who likes to rest. And after being cooped up in the hospital for 24 hours, more than 24 hours, it's going to be hard to convince him to stay home, to come home and relax. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm going to go get in the shower because it is 6:40 now. And I will check in with you guys throughout the day. Okay, guys, I actually have a little bit of a change of plans. Today on Heart Breathing, Sarah Cannon's channel, I'll link down below. They do, I don't think it's every Saturday, I think it's like once a month. They do a double down day where you basically write whatever your writing goal for the day is. You write double that. And I have not written at all yet this year. Today's the 6th, I think. And I have not written at all. And my goal is to write every day. So, I'm going to do that. I'm going to try to do that. I don't know. Okay, well, I was saying that it is double down day. I was going to sit here and try to do that before I leave to go to the hospital. But Nick just called me, and of course, they want to treat him for everything but what he actually went there for. He went there for pneumonia. That was what they were worried about. And now they want to give him a blood transfusion saying his hemoglobin's low, which I totally get. Like, if your blood's low, you need a blood transfusion. Fine, you need a blood transfusion. But they still haven't treated him for the pneumonia. Like, you're focusing on everything but why I went there. And, I'm not trying to, and he's saying the same thing, and I agree, not trying to be conspiracy theorist. I don't know if that's, the right word. My brain's not properly functioning. But you do hear stories about how, hospitals do extra tests that you don't actually need and give you things that you don't actually need or you may not, fully need or whatever, and do all this extra shit just so that your hospital bill will be more. And he's like, I'm not going to sit here all day and have them treat all this other stuff that I don't fully need, and then I end up with a $10,000 hospital bill, which I agree with. So I'm going to get up. I'm not going to do my writing now. I'm going to get up, get dressed, get the dogs out, get the bed made, do all the stuff, leave, go get breakfast, and head over there so that I can be there right at 9 when visiting hours start, and figure out what's going on. So he said he's going to tell, if the doctor comes, he's going to tell the doctor, treat me for what I came here for. Don't worry about my kidney. My kidney doctor said my kidney was fine. I'm following what my kidney doctor said. Treat me for the pneumonia. Don't worry about anything else. And so I can already tell it's going to be a long day because he's not happy. So, yeah, that is the update. I guess I'm just going to try to write there, try to get some work done there. So I will check back in with you guys later. Hey guys, so it is a little after 8 now. I'm in my car, as you can see. I just went and picked Nick up some of the little donut holes he likes from the donut shop by our house. I am now heading to a McDonald's closer to the hospital for my breakfast. And then I'll be heading over there. Visiting hours don't start until 9, so I'm hoping I'll get there closer to 9. And if I get there early, hopefully they'll just let me in. Yesterday there wasn't anybody at the check-in desk, so I'm hoping that they'll just let me in, or I'll just walk right in, which isn't the best that you can just walk right in, but serves my purposes for today. So this whole thing kind of brought along a lot of things that I've thought about in the past, that we've talked about in the past, that we actually just kind of had a conversation with my parents about in the past. Nick is eventually going to need another kidney transplant, and once the kidney is, we're hoping that he'll get a kidney before he has zero function in the kidney. But if he does get to that point, last time he was on dialysis, he was very sick, was in and out of the hospital very often, and it was rough. So I know we're coming up on a rough season again at some point, whether that's starting now in 2024, or this is just a little hiccup, and his kidney levels go back to normal, and it's not this year, but it is going to happen eventually. Eventually he's going to need another kidney. And with something like this, especially growing up, I don't know if I've ever talked about this, but my aunt, growing up, had child diabetes. I forget if that's type 1 diabetes or type 2, but she had juvenile diabetes, and had several kidney transplants throughout her life. And eventually, when she got older, it was very hard for her to match anyone. And eventually she didn't match anyone, and she ended up passing away. And so that is a very real possibility for our lives. And I pray every day that that does not happen and that Nick lives to be, 100 years old. But unfortunately, with chronic kidney disease and, this cycle of transplant waiting however long, that may not be the reality. And that's something that we just have to deal with and know. But so that's something that I've, thought about, what is it going to be like eventually, hopefully, 60 years from now, to, eventually be by myself. What would it be like, God forbid, if something happened and I end up by myself at, 35 years old. And so being alone by myself in the house yesterday just kind of really brought that home, and just kind of put in that fear and that thought of what is this going to be like. And so having to go home by myself last night and being at home with the dogs by myself and having that whole thing happen outside, just really made it real. And of course, you never want to think about that. Of course, like I said, I pray every day that, he lives to be an old man, and, I wouldn't even mind going first, when we're in our 80s. But it's going to happen when it happens. It's going to happen when God intends, whether that's, God forbid, this year or next year or in 10 years, or in 20 years, whatever. Eventually it's going to happen. And yeah, so just a vulnerable moment to say that was very real last night. And I ended up having myself a good cry about it, which actually was kind of cathartic, and I kind of needed it. But yeah, so I'm at McDonald's now. I just got myself a huge coffee. Got Nick his donuts. Gonna head there. I think my parents are gonna stop by. I asked my mom when I talked to her earlier if they would stop by. So I just got my McDonald's. Like I said, I got a giant coffee. It is only 8:20, so I don't know if they're gonna let me into the hospital already. Like I said, I'm gonna try. If I can't get in, then I guess I'll have to just eat my food in the car and wait. What was I saying? When I talked to my mom earlier, I asked her if they would stop by at some point today. Maybe having some visitors and having somebody to talk to would take his mind off of it a little bit more, and maybe they can talk him into being a little bit more patient and willing to wait and stay in the hospital a little bit longer. Yes, so it is about 2:10 right now. I am leaving the hospital right now to go home and let the dogs out and let them eat and everything. And then I am going to come back. So I basically just spent the day editing a couple videos, switching up my thumbnail for the season, for the new year, getting some different, getting a new intro and outro done. I got those made and airdrop over to my iPad, so I have those there. And so update on Nick. This morning he was feeling pretty frustrated, like I talked about earlier. Hopefully you guys can hear me over the air too, the heater too. I didn't say that. What was this? Oh yeah, this morning he was pretty frustrated about the way things were going. They're focusing much more on the kidney than on the pneumonia itself, and the kidney is not why he's actually there, in the hospital. He only went for the pneumonia. I mean, we were worried about the kidney levels, but the doctor had said that we'll go back down. So when I got there, luckily the nephrologist that was on the call was already in there talking to him, and it happened to be that nephrologist is partners with Nick's actual doctor. So it was great. He knows the doctor, he knows his game plan and everything, yeah, so he knew kind of what was going on. He talked to Nick, told Nick that he thought that he was good to go. He did think that Nick should have the blood transfusion if his hemoglobin was low. Then about, 20 minutes later, half an hour later or something, the same doctor calls us and says, hey, I looked more into your file and the notes that the nurses and stuff are taking, and mean that you still have a fever, you've had fevers on and off, and you are still a little bit winded. It's more serious than what I originally thought. And with your kidney level, we really do need to be careful. So they're going to give you the antibiotics, they're going to give you the blood transfusion. We'll see how you are then, but we really want to see these numbers improve before you go home. So Nick was upset about that because he kind of gave him a little bit of hope that this would be more of a quick process, and then kind of stole that hope back. They didn't finally come to give him all those medications until 11 something, so he took those late. And then they were worrying about his blood pressure, and they took like labs like 4 times in the span of like 3 hours, so his arms are starting to get sore and bruised. So all this is just kind of accumulating, and he's just getting more and more upset. So, which is totally valid. I get it. He's tired. He didn't sleep well. The bed's uncomfortable. Of course you want to be home. It's more comfortable to be at home. And then, like I said, I'm going to feed the dogs and everything. I'll go back, see him, obviously. Get him something for dinner, probably just from the cafeteria. I think I'm going to stop at, there's a ramen place not far from the hospital, and they have like bento boxes, and I love a bento box, and I just feel like I need like a pick-me-up after the days we've had. So I think I'm going to go get me a bento box for dinner. That's going to be our day. They're saying that hopefully he will be out tomorrow, which is good. He, depending on how his numbers look, if his numbers keep going down, he should be able to get that out tomorrow. And of course they say that, and he's going to expect that means he'll be out by like 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, which is not going to happen. I'm anticipating we'll be there most of the day again tomorrow, which I know he's not going to love, because then on Monday he goes back to work. Maybe he'll call out on Monday, I'm not sure. Because we work from home, it's easier for us to not have to like call out like that. It's a little bit easier for me because he does work super early, so he has to get up at like 4:50 a.m. So, which is really early, especially when you haven't slept well, because he's not sleeping well at the hospital. I'm going to take him back his pillow. But yeah, hopefully this is something that is of interest to you guys. Hopefully there's other people who are dealing with, whether it's kidney transplant or any other kind of transplant. You can kind of see what the process, or what that, I don't want to say lifestyle, because lifestyle sounds like a choice, and this isn't a choice, but what this kind of life looks like. What it looks like from the point of the patient. I know Nick hasn't obviously talked about it himself, but kind of get an idea of what it's like for the patient, and from the point of the spouse, the caregiver, and maybe it'll help somebody else. I try to keep these vlogs as like real and authentic as I can. I do show kind of like, I feel like sometimes my vlogs are kind of repetitive, but that is kind of just the truth of our lives. It's what we do. I try to throw in different things whenever I can, but I try to be as authentic and real as I can, and this medical stuff doesn't come up that often, thank God. But I talked about our fertility stuff in the past, and I always said that and Nick is totally on board with this, he gave permission, that once kidney stuff came back around, whenever that was, that I would want to document that as well. And so that's what I'm doing. So yeah, I hope you guys like this. I don't want to say enjoy this, because it's not something that's necessarily a positive, but like this kind of vlog. I like to see this, the truth of our situation. So, morning guys, it is Sunday now, December, I don't even know what day of the week it is, or what date it is, 8th I think, maybe. It is about 7:30 now. I'm leaving the house now to head to the hospital, hoping that they will let me in early. Yesterday I just walked right in and there was no one at the desk, like at the front, and I just walked right into Nick's hotel room, and none of the nurses like stopped me to say that visiting hours wasn't visiting hours yet. So I'm hoping that that'll be the case again today. Sleep wise, it was a little bit better. So I don't know what the last thing I told you guys was. I think it was when I was on my way back to the hospital from the dogs. So my parents did come, stayed for like 20 minutes, kept Nick company a little bit. I was going to get him food from the cafeteria for dinner, but of course the cafeteria closes at 4, so, which is really stupid. if you have visiting hours till 9, you should at least have the cafeteria open till like 6 or 7 in case people want dinner. I'm assuming that's probably for like due to like lack of staff maybe or something. I don't know, but I think that's really stupid. So I had to run I just went and got him McDonald's, and there's a ramen place near the hospital that I like that has like bento boxes, and that sounded really good and like good like little pick me up. So I went and got that. Unfortunately, by the time I got that, and then the McDonald's line was super busy, so by the time I got my food back to both our food really, back to the hotel, it was cold. Back to the hospital, I mean, it was cold. So it was good, but not as good as it would have been had it been, you know, hot or fresh. Nick has not eaten like a proper meal in days, even before he got into the hospital. He hadn't eaten really a good meal in a while, which is worrying me. So we had that. He was fine. The last thing they said when I was getting ready to leave was that his blood pressure was a little bit up, but Nick's blood pressure always runs high. And then I think that was basically it. So I ended up leaving like around 8:30. Went home. I was gonna sleep downstairs. I made like a decaf coffee and just laid on the couch and put Lord of the Rings on, because that's like a comfort watch. So I put that on, but the dogs would just not lay down. It took forever for them to settle, which is understandable because especially Dobby, because he's cooped up in the kennel all day, so he's trying to, you know, get that energy out. But of course, by the time I get there at the end of the night, all I want to do is go to sleep. So finally they settled down and I fell asleep. I turned Lord of the Rings off and put like, I don't even remember what I put on, something on TV, because I didn't want to wake up in the middle of the night and have it be like a dark, creepy scene from Lord of the Rings on or something and freak myself out. I don't know. So I just put TV on, and I did fall asleep for a little while, but it was more the same where like they kept moving and I was waking up like on the hour. So finally I said, you know, I'm just gonna go upstairs, let them out at like midnight. Still downstairs hoping that if I let them out at midnight, then maybe they wouldn't wake me up again in the middle of the night. So did that, went upstairs. I didn't even like unmake the bed. I slept on top of the like comforter. Which was their bedroom obviously. So once we got upstairs, then they settled, and I was able to sleep. Lily did wake me up to go out at like 3 something, but I fell back asleep. So I did get more sleep. But then Nick called me at like, I think it was 5 something, 5:30 maybe, or 6:30. I think it was 5 something. To say that they were really worried about his blood pressure and his heart rate, and he still had a fever, and like in order to take care of that like quickly, the doctor that's on call, I guess, wanted to order like blood pressure medication to be given like intravenously, not orally, because then his body would like absorb it or whatever, start breaking it down quicker. But anytime they order anything to the doctor, it takes fucking forever. They gotta wait for the doctor, and then they gotta wait for the pharmacy. It takes forever. So her way around that was to order a crash cart, like the thing they bring when somebody's dying. And he said all of a sudden there was like 30 people in his room, and it looked like a scene from Grey's Anatomy. And which he wasn't crashing or anything. He's totally fine. He's coherent. He's up. He's awake. He was totally fine. But that was her way to get the medicine there quicker and combat that. Which now I'm kind of wondering, that's probably going to be expensive. I think I saw something where like a box of tissues is like $80. So I can't imagine how much a whole like crash team is going to be. So that may not have been yesterday, but so I don't know if that actually worked or not. I haven't talked to him again since, or not. Like, I just realized it's really windy here today. So, and the freeway was pretty empty, so I was going kind of fast. So I think you can hear like the wind, like rushing in the background. So hopefully you guys can hear me still. What was I saying? Oh, I don't know if I've talked about this here before. and I'm not a doctor, so I don't know for sure. This is just my suspicions. I think Nick has OCD, and I know he has anxiety as well, but he's someone who is very much set on a routine. Like, our daily lives, I mean, if you watch my vlogs, you can kind of tell, our daily lives during the week, like, are set. We are on a routine. He gets up at the exact same time every day, does the exact same thing as soon as he gets up, in the exact same order. I suspect there could be a little bit of maybe autism in there as well. Like, it could be on the spectrum somewhere. Obviously very high functioning, but like, same routine every single day, does not miss a beat, snack at the same time, lunch at the exact same time, like, finish water at the same time of the day, go upstairs to go to sleep at the exact same time of the day, shower at the exact same time of the day, like, everything. And so now it's Sunday. He already doesn't do well on Sundays. He gets the Sunday scaries. He already gets the Sunday scaries on Sundays, obviously. Because it's time, like, to go back to work, and I don't know, like, the start of that routine, I guess, causes him anxiety. So I already know today's gonna be hard because he already has a hard time with Sundays at home, let alone, you know, stuck here. So I'm sure in his mind he's thinking, one, he's uncomfortable, he's tired, he's hungry, he wants to get out of the hospital. But two, he's also starting to think, tomorrow's Monday, my routine starts, and my routine's gonna... So that, I'm sure, is bugging him too. So I think today's gonna be a little bit more of a fight. We'll see. I don't know if I may have to ask my parents to come or something. So we'll see what today's gonna be like. I just got here. I'm gonna try to see if he'll let me stop at the cafeteria and get him some breakfast before I come upstairs, because he needs to eat. Maybe once he eats, maybe he'll feel a little bit better. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I will check back with you guys at some point today and let you know what is going on. Hey guys, so it is just after 3 now. I am in my car again, as you can see. I'm heading back towards the hospital. I came home about 1 o'clock, a little after 1, to let the dogs out and get them fed, and just let them be out for a little while and hang out with them. Now I'm heading back. Today has definitely been more of a difficult day. Nick is definitely getting, antsy and getting tired of being in the hospital, which I totally understand. I feel so bad for him. He's like practically in tears because his back and neck and head are hurting so bad from just the hospital bed. Is so uncomfortable, and he hasn't been able to shower or anything like hygienic in like days. So he feels like dirty and gross, and he has a hard time sleeping anywhere that isn't like his own bed. So I know he's not sleeping well. He's not eating like very well. I just feel really bad for him. It's starting to really get to him. And then, the hospital just kind of drags their feet on things. They say they're going to do something, and it takes 6 hours to do it, They finally started to give him his medication, like, actually on time. He's been there for 3 days, and today was the first time they've actually given his medication on time like they're supposed to.